Boink. Hey, hello. How are you? Look at that. Hypnotized again. Your eyelids are getting heavy. You're falling into a deep sleep. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and berries, in Facebook land, I'm parked again because some people were complaining about when I was doing these drivings. They thought it was unsafe. And they're kind of right. I mean, they're right. I think driving is unsafe, to tell you the truth. But to me, it was kind of like no different than having someone sit in my passenger seat and having a conversation. But to make people feel better, I decided not to drive. There's Mike Wilkie, my favorite friend fan. He's always there. And Patrick Humphrey. Dun, dun, dun. There's a lot of magic in the air today. So here's my thinking on this social media sharing and posting and all that stuff. And the reason this came up was I had a conversation with my friend Brian Kelly. And if you don't know Brian Kelly, he's a very kind gentleman. He helps youth with entrepreneurial thinking. So he's got a thing called All About Family, and he builds family community. He's a very good in-person networker. You go to a happy hour event and he's talking with everybody and he's really good at making connections with everybody. But when it comes to social media, he's no good at it. And so I was going to kind of bring up I started thinking of this analogy of, because he was asking how I could help him with his marketing. And I was telling him to act on social media the exact same way that you act in real life. Because most people don't. Because they're protected in their own little device environment, they end up doing things like Facebook's got an algorithm where it, share this post with your friends, or like there might be something about get more people to like your fan page. So you can go on there and you can kind of like tell everybody to like your page, and you can tell a whole bunch of people about it. And if you have multiple pages, and some of those friends are in similar places, they get all these notifications. They get barraged with all these things that are happening. And I'm guilty of it. I know I'm guilty of it because I've got a lot of different stuff on social media, whether it be Twitter or LinkedIn or Instagram or Periscope or Facebook, multiple pages on Periscope, my email blasts and all that kind of stuff. So you end up seeing a lot of stuff from one individual, and it ends up looking a little bit pathetic. And I know this happens with me. So, but I don't know what it looks like from your point of view. See, so when it's easy for me to just click a button and say something, and you got that voice recognition software, so you can just kind of say things, and it's really easy to do. So it ends up being like you're spewing it forth in social media. So, like, you wouldn't do that in a regular social happy hour type networking event. Go up and tap everybody on the shoulder and say, hey, here's my business card. Check this out. Although some people do that too. But it's like, hey, like my webpage. I want you to go on my webpage and check it out and make a comment. I want you to... And it gets very, what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of, it'll come to me. Desperate. It gets kind of desperate when you're doing all that stuff. And people create these little systems. I think they've called them like ladders, where you got a little group and you tell everybody to post your thing and go like their page. Post your page and go everybody put a like on it. And it's a way of boosting up your likes, I guess. But, if you just got a bunch of people on there and one's doing a page on pets and one's doing a thing on photography, somebody's doing something on travel, someone's doing something on fashion, someone's doing something on diet, someone's doing something on fitness, someone's doing something on classic cars. You've got all these people with this different interests, yet everybody's liking these pages, and they don't even have an interest in them, and they just like them. Like someone just put a thumbs up. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. But it gets to be a plethora, one of my favorite words, a plethora of overwhelm of information, and they're not legitimate prospects or friends or associates or allies. So I've even been hesitant to put any links when I do these Facebook Lives and thing. If people just go on there and go like, they didn't even watch the video. I don't know how many of you people are still on here. I see that Mary Rogers came on, and Bill Davies, and Mike Wilkie, he gets on a lot of these things. My friend Patrick Humphrey, he was on there. So a lot of people go on, but I don't know how long they stay on because they've got jobs and things that they're doing. And it says that Mike put the thumb up. So Mike is still here. But I don't know how many people are still here, because some people might just get off of this and go get something to eat and come back in 10 minutes and maybe it'll be gone. So I try and just put out information that might be of interest to people, and rather than shoving something down their throat like a link to a website or something, I try not to do that too much. I post it on my own page, but some people look at my own Facebook page as not being, they look at it as public domain. And the reason I bring this up is I did a little post about our president, and somebody got all mad and they started calling me all sorts of names and lashing out and stuff, and I said that this was a conversation on my own personal Facebook page, and they called it public domain. So if I was to put that into a real life analogy, that means if I'm sitting and having dinner with some friends and family at a restaurant, and we get into the topic of presidency and politics, that means that anybody within earshot can come over and start calling me names and putting me down. And is that freedom of speech, or is that just rude? I think it falls into the category of rude. But that's just me. So that's one of the problems with social media, is it's not very social. It ends up being very pushy and weird and stuff, because you got the protection of your phone. I'm here in the enclosure of my car right now talking to multiple people. I might end up, if I wanted to boost this post, I might end up saying this to thousands of people in the protection of my own car. I can hide in here. I can say whatever I want. You can't find me. Anyways, I'm going to get out and about. I got some things to do. I'm driving for Lyft. You know what that is? Like Uber? I'm driving for Lyft, and I do part of the reason I do it is not to make $1 million, but it's to get away from the internet, because I get to spend too much time on the internet. It certainly is rude for someone to call you names, but for perspective's sake, I think, what does it say? I think your wall is set to public, not friends only. Well, that's true, but it's still my domain. It's still my area, you know? It's kind of my room. And yes, anybody can come in. But do you have to be an asshole? I'm even that way in the park. If someone wants to come up and talk to me, you can talk to me. Let's have a conversation. But do you have to be a jerk? Just because I'm in a public space, does that give you the right? I guess it does, to come up and start calling me names. As long as you don't touch me, right? Because then it would be assault if you touched me. But, so that's my point, is can people just kind of be a little more humane? But they don't, because they got that protection thing with the social media deal. Although there are people that get out into social structures and start calling people names and stuff too, because they get angry. But anyways, I'm signing off. Peace, love, and happiness. This is Magic Brad, the myth, the legend, in my own mind, the magician legend. I'm signing this thing off before I get in trouble. Peace, love, and happiness. That's the way I work, okay? Bye.